Hey everybody, I'm back. So I did a lot of cleanup on the map because that's not very exciting to see. Pretty much all that's left is to just go here and solve the final puzzle. And also deal with some remaining crusade stuff. Nah, it doesn't have anything new. Yeah. I didn't really come up with proper icons for these. You again. When most worthy, you are late. We've been waiting for you a long time. The age of the Earthfall has ended, and along with it, our patience. The secrets of creation will remain unknown. Leave. Who are you? What's going on here? Who is here? You are not the one most worthy. You are not the one for whom we've waited. How dare you intrude into our lair and try to discover our secrets? You don't seem to see me. Are you blind? We have been waiting here far too long. We have fallen into disrepair. Who are you? We are the will of great Ereshkigal, the Demon Lord, the Faceless Sphinx, the Mistress of the Enigma. We are a projection of her will. We are the gatekeeper, entrusted with opening the door to eternity for the one who is most worthy. Who are you waiting here for? We are waiting for the one who is most worthy, the one who will solve the puzzles, the one who refused to follow their kin, the one who survived the Earthfall. the one to whom we will give our mask and name as our avatar. Not for you. I too am a conduit for Aresh Kagal's will. She orders you to leave your post. The Sphinx turns her head and gazes so intently at your mask it's as if she can actually see it. The silence drags on. It is Aresh Kagal's orders to wait for the one most worthy. It is Aresh Kagal's orders to leave our post. How can we wait for the one most worthy if we leave our post? How can we leave our post while waiting for the one most worthy? How can we obey and disobey orders at the same time? Broken. And here I was hoping it would tell me the mysteries of the universe. Well, what's done is done. Looks like I'll have to unravel them on my own. The Sphinx silently disappears before your eyes as if she was never there. You look at the ghost expectantly, but he is silent and motionless. He seems stunned, unable to comprehend what has happened. And suddenly the ghost springs into action. With one swift movement, he grabs the mask and rips it off his face. This is the first time you have seen the ghost's face. He looks pale and haggard, but his dark eyes burn with stubbornness and strength. I have been imprisoned by that cursed Sphinx for thousands of years, but now I am finally free. There will be no more encounters with wandering travelers. I will never again have to lure them into a trap with the promise of great mysteries. I must reward you for my freedom, adventurer. Although I have been dead for thousands of years, I was once a thief, and a good thief always has some loot stashed away. Take this as a token of my gratitude. You did not gain access to the secrets of creation, but you have given me the gift of freedom. I was once known as Kini the Stubborn, thief of secrets. Thank you for releasing me from my imprisonment. Wait, so you were Kini? Kini the thief? You're the one who escaped the enslavement of the Cyclops and hid from them in the abyss. An elf called the Storyteller told me about you. He said you were his friend. Storyteller? I do not know anyone who goes by that name, but I believe I know the person you were talking about. My friend, the one I betrayed. Can it be that he still lives? If what you say is true, I am sad that we will not have the chance to meet. My time in the material plane is coming to an end. I can feel my life slipping away. Your friend is alive. Is there anything you would like me to tell him? Anything I want to tell him. What is there to say? That I regret what I did to him, even though I'd do it again? That I've never had a better friend? Tell him that in all my life I never had anything more delicious than the spiced mulled wine we used to drink together in his tower. What will happen to you now? Who knows? I have been the prisoner of a horrible demon lord for thousands of years. Will I join the River of Souls like everyone else? Will I stand trial before Pharasma? If I do stand trial, where will I be sent? I do not know the answer to any of these questions, but it doesn't really matter. Whatever happens, it cannot be worse than what I have already suffered. Now that you are no longer bound by the spell, can you tell me why you were captured? What purpose did you serve in Aresh Kagal's plan? Aresh Kagal forced me to play this game of questions and answers with travelers, but she never told me the reason for my imprisonment. I can only tell you my theory. I think that all of this, the riddles, the talking ghosts that appear in strategic locations, was designed to whet the curiosity of those who reach for the unknown. In other words, it was bait, and the bait was meant to lure them here. It is possible that she had another goal in mind. The faceless Sphinx finds pleasure in subduing powerful seekers of knowledge, and my friend, the one you call the Storyteller, was a powerful archmage unlike any other. Perhaps Aresh Kagal believed that he would enter the heart of mystery to save me. Should the promise of great knowledge fail to sway him, I would be the perfect bait to lure him into the trap. If that was her plan, things didn't go the way she hoped. Even the most cunning demon lords make mistakes. Your freedom awaits. Farewell. Farewell to you too, adventurer, and thank you. So what did I get from that? Mask of the Most Worthy. This cursed mask grants its wearer a +20 insight bonus on all saving throws, DR 5, fast healing 2, and a +10 insight bonus on concentration checks. This mask doesn't work against Ereshkigal's followers, and its wearer suffers a -6 penalty on all saves and AC while in Ereshkigal's domain. I think I'll give that to her. Anything else here? Oh. Huh. This just leads back in there.
Beautiful.
Doesn't look like there's anything else here, though. My lord! An unfamiliar knight enters the hall, a white-bearded old man clad in armor that's polished to a sheen and adorned with an image of Iomede's sword. Despite his age, his movements are confident and his eyes are sharp. The knight's voice trembles ever so slightly, not because of his years, but because of his barely restrained temper. I have come to report treason. Who are you? Sir Thomas Longar, paladin by the grace of Iomede and your loyal servant. Until recently, I was Captain Harmattan's adjutant. I was mostly involved in staff work. Alas, I'm no longer of age to be fighting on the front lines. I'm ashamed that my chance to introduce myself to you has been made possible under such disgraceful circumstances. Where's Captain Harmattan? I'd say he's already made it halfway to Nerosian. That's what I've come here to report, my lord. You are, of course, familiar with the Wary. They're a circle of schemers who have been stirring up trouble practically since the beginning of the Crusade. They're politicians undermining our holy cause with their petty intrigues. How many times have you routed them, and after each time they were back at it again? I beg your pardon. I meant to tell you something that you didn't already know about them. Something I, sadly, didn't know either until now. Leader of the Wary this whole time, the one who incited their insubordination time and time again, it was none other than Captain Harmattan. That traitor, that block-headed fool. Since the very beginning he thought you were unworthy to lead the crusade. You thwarted each of his preposterous intrigues, and now he has resolved to mutiny. The captain went to Nerosian to bring back an army, our supposed reinforcements. The moment you let them into the city, he'll order them to seize you. Once that's done, he'll try to take command of the crusade in your place. The nerve! If foolish arrogance could be used as firewood, this army would never have to worry about keeping itself warm in the winter again. What are you suggesting? I know that traitors must face retribution, but what if treason has not yet overwhelmed them completely? Yet grant the captain a chance to gather his wits. Let us hold a memorial service in honor of the fallen crusaders. Once reinforcements arrive, we'll invite them to join us in paying our respects to our comrades. Remembrance of the fallen is always important, but it won't be much good to us right now. Our main concern must be coming up with a way to avoid bloodshed among crusaders. We could introduce a new holiday, let's say the Day of All Good Gods. We'll meet the army with a feast and make the new arrivals sit at one table with our veterans. Let them talk candidly and they'll see that they're surrounded by brothers and sisters. When the captain gives his senseless order, no one will have the heart to obey. We'll turn the traitor's plan against him. Dresden will become a mousetrap. We let the traitors in, close the gates, and block them inside a confined space. Then we can demand that they turn in their ringleader. We will execute him in plain view of the troops. The good captain wants to play at intrigue. I'll show him how it's done. A couple of letters to the right people in Nerosian, and he will never leave this city. Sir Thomas, how did you learn of the treason? Remember the debacle the Wary had with their inane mutiny? That was when I first became suspicious. All of the traitors were close to the captain. A pity that I didn't report these suspicions on the spot. I didn't think it would befit an adjutant to inform on his own superior. But then I heard his speeches at the officer meeting, how he blamed you for suppressing the rightfully disgruntled traitors. These words put me on high alert. When the captain left for Nerosian to oversee the arrangements regarding your new allies' support, I made my way into his quarters and searched them. The captain left in a great hurry. He didn't even check to see if the letters he'd thrown into the fireplace had burned properly. There were just some charred scraps left, but what they said was enough to figure out where he was going and what his plans were. On top of the correspondence, I found this. These were issued by a certain bank in Absalom. They're worth a fortune, and apparently were intended as payment for mercenaries. Captain Harmon forgot them as he was packing up. It seems he was in a panic, as if he expected arrest at any moment. He must have thought you were suspicious of him. I saved Galfrey's life, what more could he possibly want? He believes that Her Majesty made a mistake by placing the crusade in your hands. Once you're under arrest, he'll petition the Queen to grant him personal leadership over the army. What I find most tragic is that I understand the captain to some extent. Despite all his intrigue, deep down he's still a true knight. But just like any knight, he is fully devoted to his lady. Didn't you notice? From the very start his loyalty was not towards you nor the Crusader cause, but to Galfrey, to her and her alone. When she set out for Eyes, he desperately wanted to accompany her, but his queen gave him a different task. Armaten had to wait for Mendevian reinforcements in Dresden, form a secondary army, and only then could he move out in support of Galfrey. When you arrived and took command, I think it was a painful blow for him. Galfrey, do you have anything to say about this? Let's discuss our options in further detail. Sela, what's your plan? Choosing humanity over cruelty often proves to be a better way of handling disputes and problems. The soldiers are not at fault for being led by a criminal. They don't even know what he's up to. Before he gives the order to revolt, we'll receive the army as welcomed guests. We'll seat them right next to our soldiers, let the two armies become one. We'll offer our prayers to the good gods, then remind everyone that the spirit of the crusade is more important than our trivial quarrels. Once that happens, even if the captain is foolish enough to issue his order, no one will comply. That's your kind of plan, Sela. It hinges on an extraordinarily optimistic view of human nature. I, for one, believe that, no matter what, the captain will certainly be foolish enough to give the order, and his troops will be foolish enough to carry it out. Regil, what do you suggest? The army doesn't know it's following a traitor. He wants to order them to arrest the commander, but we'll be one step ahead. We'll let the troops into Dresden, surround them, then promise to spare their lives if they turn in Harmatten. Then we can tell the warriors what sort of crime they were almost drawn into right before we execute the conspirator in public. They'll be grateful to you for sparing them from unknowingly being complicit in treason. Lessons like these, ones you pay for not with time or gold, but with blood. These lessons are invaluable both to soldiers and officers. Whiskey, what if he orders his troops to attack first? What if the troops listen to him? There will be a slaughter. No, we need to defuse this situation carefully, without resorting to direct confrontation. Darren, your opinion, please? I have plenty of powerful acquaintances in Neurosian. Some of them owe me favors, and I can offer a lot to others. An army captain is not that big of fish. A letter or two, and he'll vanish like he never existed in the first place. As for the nobles that will help us, we'll have a nice shared secret, and secrets in common bring people together. Having friends in high places that are bound by spilled blood will open new possibilities for us. I believe that you and your cronies are unscrupulous enough to murder a captain of the Crusaders, what I find harder to believe is that you'll be able to pull it off in Neurosian, the heart of Mendev, without getting caught red-handed. And even if you do somehow get away with it, the Crusades' command shouldn't stoop to covert assassinations. Sir Thomas, what is your advice? Greet the advancing army with the morning bells toll. We will step out toward them and invite them to join us in prayer for all who have fallen in battle during the war. Captain Harmatten's plan is foolish, but he is a man of honor. We'll help him come to his senses and think better of issuing a treasonous order. The traitor is positive he's in the right. As soon as you take one step towards him, he'll command his forces to draw their weapons. Your plan amounts to surrender. Let's see. Unlocks the Feast of the Sacred Host decree. All generals gain +1 level to the Heavenly Ward feat for 30 days. Unlocks the Military Exercise decree, increasing generals' experience. All generals gain the Tactical Superiority feat at level 20. All generals gain +1 level to the Mighty Servant feat. Great Commemoration. A random allied crusader army is recruited at the commander's headquarters. Let's go with this one. Let's hope this will awaken the captain's dormant conscience. I wouldn't dare hold out hope that it'll wake his common sense. Commander, although you were once again victorious in your last encounter with Khorramzadeh, I'm worried. We've been interrogating the prisoners and some interesting information has come to light. It seems Khorramzadeh intends to fundamentally alter his strategy and be on the defensive next time we meet. That is uncharacteristic of him. Indeed, it's uncharacteristic of demons generally. For the most part, they'd all prefer a ruthless onslaught. Our enemy seeks to counter us with a robust formation, overwhelm us with ranged assaults, and grind our attacks to dust, one after another. Opposing demons who fight defensively is unknown territory, and we must be prepared for it. I suggest we train our infantry in ways of withstanding enemy shots, which should secure our victory in a ranged duel. Ha! What is this I'm hearing? The demons are afraid to and want to fight on the defensive? Perfect. Let them stand there and wait while our cavalry mows them down. The demons intend to fight in a disciplined manner, a plan destined for failure. We will send our infantry out to meet them and then see who blinks first and attacks. Once they've a good grip on our infantry's throat, we'll surround their entire force and crush it. So the demons have decided to play with us. Well, they don't know who they're dealing with. Give me, let's see, even a few daring riders and I'll put the kibosh on this Karamzada's whole strategy, no matter how great a general he is. I've defeated Karamzada once and I'll do it again. That's what I'm hoping for, but I would advise against underestimating our opponent. Karamzada is like an angry old wolf. Yes, he growls and grins like the others, but he's much smarter, more perceptive, and more experienced than the rest of his kind, and he learns. He's learned from his mistakes, and now he wants to radically reevaluate his tactics. If you think this is normal behavior for a demon general, you are mistaken. Karamzada may well present us with some unpleasant surprises when next we meet. I want to hear the opinions of my advisors. Sela, what strategy do you suggest? We don't even need a strategy. It works great for us if the demons want to stand there like statues and defend. Our cavalry is fast and deadly. Containing the enemy is all we need to do to turn this whole defensive tactic into we walked right into a trap and can't get out. So in essence you're suggesting we place the burden of winning this battle solely on the cavalry, which means the bulk of our losses will be our most valuable and least recoupable troops. It would be wiser to set the demons on the infantry. Rejo, what's your proposition? I haven't the slightest doubt that the demons will fail to change their own fundamental nature, and thus will not suddenly become a disciplined army capable of either restraint or the execution of complex plans. We'll send the infantry out against the enemy, close, a stone's throw from their ranks. The demons' discipline will falter, they will be tempted by the bait and break formation. Then we attack with everything we have and crush them. Karamzada thinks he can play our own rules against us. That will be his fatal mistake. Greybor, what are you thinking? There's this trick called Brat on a String. Imagine some guards standing watch. A snotty urchin walks up to them, calls them every name he knows, throws a handful of ox manure at them, then darts into an alleyway. Could you resist the temptation to chase after him and grab him by the ear? No one resists. And in the alleyway, obviously, they find me with an axe in each hand. I fulfilled a number of contracts by catching the victim's bodyguards with a brat on a string, which got me to thinking, maybe it'd work in a bigger fight too. A few riders prancing around on their steeds, shouting obscenities, their every gesture just begging, "Run after me, catch me, kill me." You think the demons will resist the urge? They'll forget every order they were given and charge forward. If I may point it out, this tactic seems reckless. A battle plan shouldn't rely on the success of a few daredevils. Captain Odin, what's your suggestion? The demons want to adopt a defensive stance. Well, that's their business, but it's no reason to change our own strategy. The battle will turn into a ranged duel. We'll move our infantry ahead as a tempting target for enemy fire. I'm certain our soldiers will do their duty with distinction, and while they're launching one pointless volley after another into the shield wall of our infantry, our sharpshooters will be felling them one by one. Trading our soldiers as if they were pawns? Vile. Now let's see. All cavalry units gain the Contain the Enemy ability. Unit's next melee attack will reduce the target's speed to 0 for 1 round. Provocation tactics, all trainable infantry units gain the Bait ability. All units in a 3x3 area will try to move toward this unit and attack it for 1 round. This is a mind-affecting effect. All trainable cavalry units gain the Taunt ability. Target unit will try to move toward this unit and attack it for 3 rounds. Defensive tactics. All trainable infantry units gain the Juicy Target ability. All enemy ranged units will be able to attack only this unit in the next round. This is a mind-affecting effect. Let's go with this one. I mean, our infantry are shield bearers, and those guys are durable. Will ensure discipline in the ranks is improved. That's what the infantry is for, to be the shield that takes the mightiest blow, wouldn't you agree? Thank you for your time, Commander. I will get to briefing the officers on our new strategy at once. Once all the preparations are finished, I'll be at your disposal again. Well, I'll be. You really did come back from the abyss itself. Commander, you amaze me. Well, if you're doing miracles now, maybe you can pull our logistics out of the abyss while you're at it? Because in your absence, that's exactly where it's gone, all the way to the bottom. We have a shortage of quite literally everything. Don't take this as sedition, Commander, but I'll give it to you straight. Right now, there is no way of acquiring anything legally. Her Majesty squeezed all she could out of Mendev to march on ice, and we've been left with a bunch of measly crumbs. Fortunately, I still have some of my old connections in Mendev. The nation has been in chaos for the last few months. Without the Queen watching over them, everyone's taking everything that's not nailed down. But I know how to make sure we get something out of all this madness. Just a bit, here and there. This is it. This is my time to shine. I got a clever little scheme. I've been cooking it up for a long time, and now I'm finally gonna put it into action. Oh, we'll hit it big. You just give me the go-ahead. Has everyone in Mendev truly turned to stealing? I just can't believe it. But if we have no choice... You know, war has claimed many lives. Deserted villages, abandoned houses, manors of noble lineages that have been cut short. If they don't belong to anyone now, maybe we could take them. I don't like this. I get it, this isn't the time to be squeamish, but joining in on the plundering of Mendev? That's too low. If we can't avoid it, let's sell our own spoils on the black market instead of stealing. Let's consider our options in more detail. Woljif, what's this scheme of yours? Alright, so, we issue war bonds with mind-blowing interest. 300%, 400, whatever. But we don't release them to be traded publicly. Instead, we hold a sale to sell everything we have left in the warehouses. Don't worry, we won't have to give away nothing, cause we're gonna be selling it all to ourselves, using fake papers and frontmen and paying with those war bonds we've got. We repeat this process several times and then... Right, I can see everybody's already confused. I'll draw you all a diagram later. Or you can just trust me, it's a sure thing, we'll make a killing. Why are you all looking at me like that? When did I ever let you down? This sounds like some evil sorcery, except with finances instead of spells. Are we sure this scheme won't ruin us? Or worse, summon some kind of bond demon to teach us a lesson? Ruchelet, what are you suggesting? We could take abandoned property the looters haven't got to yet. Unfortunately, but it is fortunate for us. Anyway, I know for sure there's a lot of it in Mendev right now. If we take it for the good of the Crusades, it wouldn't be looting, would it? Of course it wouldn't. You just need to convince yourself real hard. Congrats, Arushale. Your path of ascension is complete. Only the most upstanding mortals can dupe everyone, including themselves, with such finesse. Lan, what's your advice? Times are tough and we can't afford to stay squeaky clean, but my conscience won't let me just ransack the nation in its hour of need. We still have a few things lying around, don't we? Let's not go any further than using the services of the black market. We can get what we need in exchange for what we have. I respect you trying to keep your hands clean in a hopeless situation, but that's the thing. Both our warehouses and our coffers are empty. What are you gonna trade when we run out? Dorgalinda, what are you thinking? The goal is not to get too brazen, but we shouldn't be missing out either. I've got connections all over Mendev, old army pals, drinking partners, long overdue debtors. Each one will get us a cart, a barrel, a chest. It'll be an improvement over what we have, at least. The treasury won't notice because we won't take enough to cause a fuss. Just a weight discrepancy here, some cargo that must have dried out or fallen off in transit there. Unlocks the Tricky Steel Decree. Adds 10% of finance points available in the treasury. Acquiring unclaimed property. And 750 materials points. Selling excesses and distribution of trophies decrease, allowing finance points to be exchanged for material points and vice versa. Unlocks the corruption decree. Finance points income increases by 120, materials points by 10, energy points by 2 for 16 days. Let's go with this one. Thank you. It doesn't belong to anybody after all, so we won't be doing any harm, right? I really can't stress this enough. We're in a right bind here. We're doing everything we can to resolve it, but I have no doubt this council will need to reconvene again shortly. Oh, anything here? Let's go tell the storyteller what we found. I bring word from Kini, your friend. His soul was being held by Ereshkigal all these millennia, but I helped him break free. He asked me to tell you that the warm, spiced wine you two used to share in the tower was the best wine he drank in his life. Kini, my friend. After all this time, I never expected to hear your name, to hear word from you. I didn't think this would still matter to me after so many years, and yet I am glad? Touched? Saddened? I cannot make sense of what I'm feeling. You remembered the wine. We oftentimes sat there on the tower's balcony. I apologize, but I'm not willing to continue this discussion. This is too personal. But I thank you for helping Kini find peace. Oh, the mask of the most worthy. This mask, this item, I feel a particular kinship with it, as if it calls to me. Remarkable. See if you can find out anything about this mask. I see darkness, cold, endless, hiding numerous secrets. I feel someone's presence in this darkness. Someone is waiting for me there, and this mask is a torch designed to pierce the darkness and reveal age-old secrets. Just put it on and still I sense deceit. It's as if, by agreeing to wear this mask, I will learn much, but I will lose just as much. I have no idea what this mask is or for whom it was intended, and yet somehow it looks remarkably familiar to me. Still don't have the cold iron for that. How are things in the fortress? Truth be told, things are looking bleak. After Her Majesty left for Eyes, the supply trains started to arrive irregularly. I wouldn't feed my dog the slop we've been serving our soldiers. Each camp gets no more than 2 logs of wood to warm themselves at night. We have nothing to patch armor with, we've barely enough arrows, and each drop of potion is a precious treasure. If it goes on like this, privation will finish us off before the demons do. I keep forgetting Woljif has it's a shopkeeper inventory too. Robe of Inevitability. So it grants the wearer +2 bonus to spell penetration. What? Commander, the scouts have brought troubling news. Karamzada has been spotted near Threshold. He's gathering, no, not an army, but a horde the likes of which we've never seen. All those victories you had over him were an affront to the Abyss. The general the demons were most proud of, the one they revered, lost to some mortal, and the very thought of it enrages them. Now those who call themselves the champions of the Abyss are converging under his banner. the most wicked, brutal, and dangerous demonic warriors. We're not facing another skirmish, but a decisive battle. It will determine which of you deserves the title of the greatest military leader in this war. But Karamzada is not the only one with powerful allies. Your victories have elevated your authority to such heights that the best warriors of Galarian would consider it an honor to stand alongside you in this battle. Why don't we send an official offer of military cooperation to Multhun? Their imperial army is strong and disciplined and could be of great use to us. Lastwall and Mendev have much in common. Lastwall too must hold the line against dark forces. The Shining Crusaders are every bit as noble as the Mendevian Crusaders. Maybe we could call them to our aid. I would suggest contacting the Esoterium Lodge. It's a private and rather powerful Chelaxian group of wizards from Corentin. Their members have combat experience, they are skilled spellcasters, and I know how we can secure their support. If you want to get yourself some intrepid allies who know a thing or two about killing monsters, ask the Dragon Slayers. Sure, we're not at war with dragons here, but if the monster is big, scaly, and breathes fire, what difference does it make? I've heard about a land they call the Hold of Belkzen not far from us. The tieflings and orcs are hardly eager to enter the surface of demons, but because of their infamy, nobody's thought to invite them to join the crusade. Perhaps it's time we rectified that. The word is they're real monsters on the battlefield. Who are these champions of the abyss? A pack of the most vicious and skillful slayers of mortals one could imagine. Many demons see Galarian as their hunting ground. They boast about how many mortals they've killed, how many raids they've been in, how many prisoners they've captured. The very idea that a bunch of Galarians keep defeating a renowned general of the abyss is anathema to them. Karamzada summoned them to join his retaliatory force. They all serve demon lords, have different goals, and rarely see eye to eye. They have only two things in common. They're all excellent and fearsome fighters, and they're all eager to teach mortals a lesson in obedience. Why can't we accept help from all who offer it? These are warriors and armies who take pride in their stature and invincibility. To be the ones who aided the legendary commander of the Mendevian Crusaders would bring them esteem, but to be just one of many would bring humiliation. Alas, they're not driven by a desire to save Galarian, but by ambition and their faith in you, and by their own pride. Want to hear the opinions of my advisors? Sela, tell me more about Lastwall. They live in constant anticipation of being attacked because their neighbor is Verlich, the resting place and prison of the Whispering Tyrant himself. Lastwall has become a bastion of purity and the ideals of Iomedae. The whole country is prepared to mobilize at any moment to begin a new Shining Crusade. I doubt they'll send us the troops who are guarding the border, but many high-ranking and pious clerics could answer our call. Lastwall doesn't need their help at this very moment, but the evil in the north must be contained. I've been to the Cathedral of Sancta Iomedea in the capital of Lastwall, and I've spoken to its prioress, Second Sword Knight Eluna Varvados. I'm sure that she and her fellows will answer our call. Rigel, tell me about the Esoterium Lodge. They are based in Corentin, in southern Cheliax. The organization strictly follows the ideology of Hell and primarily consists of former and active officers of the Chelaxian Navy. Given that Corentin is simultaneously a key trading port and a military foothold against Garun's expansion, the Lodge possesses substantial resources and does not shy away from military action. I'm aware that the Esoterium have been amassing their forces lately, seeking out talented spellcasters and training them in military and magical arts. We could convince them to use this might in our war. My brothers from the Order of the Chain hold some sway in Corentin and could serve as brokers in our negotiation. I've heard some dark rumors about that lodge. Those are some sinister allies, and I'd think twice before inviting them to join the crusade. Greybor, did I miss something, or are we now fighting dragons, not demons? No, but the monsters that oppose us are just as mighty and immense. Why not make use of it? Dragon Slayers are a unique class of killer, given that their enemies are unbelievably powerful and every hunt could become their last. They can be quite conceited and won't enter just anybody's service, but our fame will certainly impress them. Dragon Slayers know how to handle a massive, deadly opponent, and I bet ours won't be ready for what they have in store. Dragon Slayers do indeed live every day like it's their last. I've encountered them myself, and I can say with confidence that every one of them is a daredevil unable to envision a life without risk. The Crusade can find more worthy allies. Oh, so that was Wendwag. Well, why didn't her picture show up? Wendwag, how can we keep the warriors from the hold of Belkson in line? What? What happened? Well, shit. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Alright, let's try that again. How will Malthuni warriors help us, Captain Odin? Over the years that Malthun has spent expanding their border, their army gained a respectable amount of combat experience. Since the ambitions of the young state had to be backed with serious military power, they formed a national army, mostly made up of members of their underclass, immigrants, and even wild races like hobgoblins and nagas. To make such a motley horde into a real army, their officers created a system of absolute uniformity regarding equipment, tactics, and training. They enforce iron discipline, fearlessness, and complete subordination to commanding officers. Malthun is greedy and ambitious. Before you know it, they'll see themselves not as allies, but as friendly interventionists who have a stronger claim to the lands they reclaimed from the demons than Mendev, and will have another war. Let's go with this one. And make sure the scribes attach a list of all the monsters the commander has slain personally. Dragon slayers are always hungry for glory. They'll jump at the chance to fight shoulder to shoulder with such a famous and deadly figure. Well, we could certainly use new allies. The most gruesome battle in the history of the Crusades awaits us. Either we will prevail over Karamzada and the Abyss itself, or we will fall defending Galarian to the last. Commander, I have a request. Though this isn't the time to make it. When you have a spare minute, please come and find me. I would like to discuss something very important to me. Something very personal. I would be very grateful if we could talk before our armies set out to battle the champions of the Abyss. I think he's at the inn. No, he's not here. Oh, there he is. Commander, now that our troops are in excellent shape and ready for action, I request to be sent to the front lines to serve as a field officer. Why do you want that? I've been preparing for this battle for decades. My duty to my fallen comrades forbids me from hiding behind others. I'm tired of living under the weight of my sins. Perhaps in battle I can free myself of their burden. You sure you can handle going back to the front lines? All 200 of my dead brothers and sisters are waiting for me to do my duty. I will not allow myself to stumble under their gaze. Thank you, Commander. I will leave for the front lines at once. There he is. Oh, whoops. Got to turn that off. The scouts have sighted an army under the command of Captain Harmattan, a conspirator and traitor. He will soon be arriving in Dresden. The military council has summoned the commander to an urgent meeting. Commander, the troops from Nerosian have arrived. As planned, we held a memorial service to honor the fallen. The mournful scene made Captain Harmattan come to his senses, and he refrained from giving any treasonous orders. It's all true. I realized that I was about to commit a great betrayal, and, praise Ra, I stopped myself in time. I appreciate that, having learned of my plans, you didn't give the order to kill me immediately. You've granted me a chance to repent. There can be no excuses for my actions. I regret them, and I humbly stand ready to accept your punishment. I knew he'd come to his senses. Harmattan always seemed like an honorable soldier to me. You should spare him. One who betrayed you once will do it again. It would be unwise to give him the opportunity. How touching. Or maybe the good captain took notice that we had more people under our command than he did, and thought it best to have a timely change of heart. I want to know why. What did you hope to accomplish? Because of Her Majesty. I admit I've always believed that she is the only one who is fit to lead the crusade. Your appointment angered me because I wasn't serving the cause, only her. I served the Queen blindly, against my better judgment, and her own wishes. I'll never forget the day I first met her. At that moment my heart was lost forever. Of course I didn't dare tell her of my feelings, instead I chose the path of servitude. It's why I could only ever accept her at the head of the crusade, but never you. Why didn't you give the order to arrest me? The mourning bell. Its toll reminded me of everyone we lost, of everyone I would have betrayed had I decided to oppose you. It was as if they surrounded me, watching me with wordless disapproval. My conscience made me stay my hand. Forgive you and believe that your repentance is sincere. Now serve me like you should have from the start. By Ra's name, I don't deserve your forgiveness and can be your advisor no longer. I must go to the front lines, where I can redeem myself with blood. You have my thanks and my apologies. I praise your mercy, Commander. I see why your troops are ready to follow you to the ends of the earth, or even to the abyss itself. This council, and you personally, have achieved the impossible. You have restored our morale and brought unity and order. You never listened to malicious detractors and stayed true to your cause, working one step at a time, building a determined and unshakable army, one that can defeat the forces of the abyss. A few years ago, none of the Crusaders could have even imagined that the cause would amass this kind of power. At times you built your war machine through very unconventional methods, but it would be foolish to deny their effectiveness. The results speak for themselves. Your army is a thing of beauty, all right. Can't buy one like it with money. It's built by unique talent. Perhaps you're a genius in that regard. On second thought, forget I said that. No need to spoil you with praise. I'm certain that no one will ever dare plot against you, Commander, or even doubt you. Let's put an end to this mutiny and deliver the final blow to the Abyss. Lead us forth, Commander. Crushing defeat to the army of the champions of the Abyss gathered by Karamzada was thought to be invincible. A crushing defeat delivered by the commander has demonstrated the folly of this belief. Greatest, fiercest, and proudest warriors of the Abyss have been put into the dry Sarkorian ground, thus proving that even demonic rage cannot bring down the fearless defenders of Galarian. Yeah. I guess even having that one mod turned off wasn't enough. I needed to restart the game, reload a save or something. But at this point I just don't care enough to actually do that. Now let's see. Commander, the army of the Champions of the Abyss has been routed. Karamzada has fled to Threshold and abandoned his invincible allies. This is a triumph for all of Galarian. We've made it clear to every plane out there that we can repel an attack by any opponent. As long as heroes like our soldiers are protecting Galarian's borders, I wouldn't recommend showing up here uninvited. We've taught the demons a lesson they won't soon forget. The sacrifices we've made in this war have thus proven effective. Seems like your path is to knock one esteemed abyss dweller after another off their pedestals. Who's gonna be your next enemy? Lamashtu herself? The troops are still in the process of tallying up the spoils, and the battlefield looks like a blood-soaked treasure vault. The demons learned that it was dangerous to mess with those mad Galarians, so they splurged on the best gear. It's all ours now, and we need to decide what to do with it. Are we going to keep these artifacts for ourselves, demonstrate our trophies to all of Avestan, or destroy them in divine purifying flame? Your dream has come true. The greatest general of the Abyss is undone. He was a worthy foe, and I was honored that you had trusted me to the task of defeating him. Did you find what you were looking for on the front lines? Yes, I have found peace. I spent the night on the battlefield after my battle with the Abyssal Host, and it was my first night in many years that wasn't ridden with nightmares. The flames have let go of my dreams. What are you going to do now? I will go on protecting people, in memory of the fallen and for the glory of the living. My service will not end until I draw my last breath. You're a worthy soldier, Odin. Carry on with your service. I have become so thanks to you. Know that I will always remember the one who believed in me and gave me a chance to atone for the sins of the past. Let this trophy be an expression of my gratitude. It belonged to one of Karamzada's lieutenants, and I took it in a fair fight. See, the commander gains the Arm to the Teeth feat, which provides a +3 luck bonus to damage. Commander gains the Doom of Demons feat, which provides a +3 luck bonus to attack. Favor of the Gods provides a +3 luck bonus to AC. Place all the trophies somewhere in plain sight as a symbol of our victory. Let our triumph be known to all. I have no doubt that after this show of strength, the demons will be even more afraid of your all-crushing power. What I'm about to say may be inappropriate, even unacceptable for an officer speaking to their superior, but I am proud to serve you. When I was a boy, I imagined myself as a general who would give back to the armies of Mendev their unstoppable might. When I grew up and left those childish fantasies behind. But then you appeared, and they weren't childhood fantasies anymore. I was even able to participate. Could I dream of anything more? Never. At last, the Crusader army has regained the glory and might unseen since the days of the First Crusade. The trials we have overcome together have made our warriors into ideal soldiers, cogs in the mechanism of war. Good work, Commander. I never thought I'd be interested in a career in the military, but I suppose even I wouldn't mind serving in such an unstoppable and well-arranged army, if I were younger and the pay were higher. Commander, it is an honor for me and for all of your officers to serve in your army. Commander, the supply situation is still critical. I'm doing all I can to find extra rations. Several caravans are already on their way, but this is reality here and now. We can't feed our whole army. Until our shipments get here, we'll have to cut rations. Who exactly will have to tighten their belts is for you to decide. I would proceed with caution and reduce everyone's provisions equally so as not to provoke any conflicts. There is still going to be discontent, so we'll need some fierce agitation in the ranks. We'll tell the soldiers that the situation is about to improve. Yes, this is most likely a lie, but it's for their own good. What's there to think about? The strong and the capable get full rations, the rest get half. When the hungry riots begin, we'll have the good fighters on our side and the bad ones on the other. Makes sense, no? It is the duty of the strong to watch over the weak, and not just on the battlefield. Above all others, we must feed those who might not make it through this time of hunger. The strong will endure, even on short rations. If we must cut rations, then we'll do it, but we won't lie about it. We'll tell the troops that things are bad and may become worse in the future. Then we'll see who's here for the food and who came to fight for the crusade. Where did this threat of hunger come from? Things were fine before. They were, while Mendev was stable, but when Her Majesty departed for Eyes, things began gradually to slide toward chaos. And now they're all the way there. We can't provide for ourselves, we can't grow anything on this land, and we can't breed any cattle. All our food comes from a single source, Mendev's military warehouses, and with every passing day we're seeing less food and more warning signs. I'd like to hear the Council's suggestions. Woljif, what's your advice? My vast life experience says that the kicks of a hungry mob are very painful. So when our troops rise up over this food shortage, and it's gonna happen, believe you me, I'd rather be guarded by the bravest and the toughest warriors than look through the window at them leading the rebellion. Which is why we'd better feed the meanest ones first, and as for the rest, But we're responsible for all the soldiers who have entrusted their lives to us, not only for the strongest fighters. Arushale, what's your suggestion? The soldiers in our army are all different. Some are stronger, some are weaker. Surely the strong will want to share their provisions with their more fragile comrades. They're healthy and resilient, they'll persevere. But the weak, they might die of hunger. That way it will be fair, right? Dream on. If we treat our strongest troops like that, they'll just take off and we'll be left with the wimps. Of course, they'll stay and take their rations or worse, they'll stay and take their rations by force. Who's gonna stop them? Your scrawny friends? Lan, what's your opinion? Everyone will join the effort to conserve as much food as possible. We'll tell it like it is. It stinks today, and it's gonna get worse tomorrow. Whoever refuses to suffer through hunger, cold, and danger with us is free to go. The rest must grit their teeth and hold on. We've been through a lot, and we're gonna make it through this too. And who's gonna stay in the army after a speech like that? Nobody with a brain in their head, that's who. You know who I haven't seen around? Fighters who can live on thin air. Dorgalinda, what do you recommend we do? I suggest we cut everyone's rations harshly. We'll save some provisions in case there's a problem with new deliveries, and we'll have to fight the lack of food with campaigning. Just hold on a little longer, our brave crusaders, such as the price of victory and so on. It's vile, but what else can we do? We tell them the truth, there will be panic and we'll lose the army. We'll damn everyone. It must be great to be able to live on propaganda. Clearly, I've spent my life learning the wrong stuff. See, the main Spellcaster's Lodge and main Hall of Champions provide 30% more recruitment growth. Main Barracks and main Archery Range provide 20% less recruitment growth. Main Barracks and recruitment growth for mythic units increases by 25%. Trainable units reduces by 15%. Recruitment growth for trainable units increases by 10%. Self-confidence. Crusade morale increases by 10. We'll go with this one. Thank you. We may be at war, but we can't forget our compassion. Commander, this crisis will be over soon, one way or another. If we've done things right, I'll assemble this council again and happily report our success to you. If not, well, we'll have done all we could. Commander, I've been doing everything to prevent this, but the hardship has done its work. More and more suppliers are raising prices, demanding to be paid up front or just cutting all ties. Voluntary contributions are dwindling by the month. It's time for decisive measures or we won't have any means of waging war at all. There's only one option left: compulsory requisitions. My suggestion is to collect all that we need from the common folk of Mendev. Robbing the people is the last thing I'd advise, but what can you do? We'll say it's a donation to support the War of Faith. We'll set up a temple and send some clerics to go with the soldiers. The clerics who will agree to go, that is. So by decisive measures, you mean robberies? Well, then it's obvious who we should start with. The rich and the aristocracy, of course. They've got enough gold tucked away in their castles and mansions to supply our soldiers with everything they need, and still leave some coin left over for us. If we must rob people, let's rob those who rob others. Thieves, bandits, fences. That wouldn't be such a terrible deed, would it? Look, Commander, you're an authority here after all. Authorities don't rob, they collect taxes on a not entirely voluntary basis. Announce emergency tax collection involving merchants and other well-off types. Yes, we're still gonna bleed them dry, but at least we're following the law instead of acting like bandits. I don't think Mendevians have anything left worth taking. Let's shake down the neighboring nations instead. They've been hiding behind our backs long enough. How's it come to be that we ourselves are now fellows of the Crusade? As soon as we began to claim abandoned property, people started to say we were scavengers looking to profit from war and death. and some of the things we took ended up having inheritors, legal representatives of their missing owners, and other characters who hadn't cared about their property for years, but cried out in protest the moment we laid a finger on it. When we cut the rations for our best fighters to sustain the common soldiers, not everyone approved. Some found it insulting and ran off to tell all of Mendev that we were robbing our best soldiers and disrespecting our heroes. I guess it doesn't bother them that we're in the middle of this little thing called a war. Tell me more about your suggestions. Wolja, what are you suggesting? Where do you go to get money? To those who have lots of it, obviously. We'll make those pampered Mendevian nobles pay up. All those barons and counts, anyone with a big purse, really. Can you imagine all the stuff they've got? Our soldiers will be walking around in silk cloaks and eating off silver. You're talking about the same nobles who have been sending their sons and daughters to this bloody war for a century. Don't you think they've been paying up with blood instead of gold? And you think those hereditary warriors will give you the keys to their family vaults just like that? The only thing they'll give you, Woljif, is a sock upside the head. But it looks like that's exactly what you need. Arushale, what's your opinion? If we have to rob someone, it should be robbers and brigands. Unfortunately, we've come to know many of them well in the time we've spent overseeing the Crusade's logistics. I mean, it's not that I believe in garbage like honor among thieves or whatever, but let's not. Commander, you gotta know what's good for us. We won't step on the toes, claws, and tentacles of some idiot thugs from the back alleys. That'll just upset their higher-ups. Serious criminals and guilds with connections on all continents. Do we really need an enemy like that? Trust me, Baphomet will seem like a pretty nice guy compared to, say, the Tetrad Consortium or the Council of Thieves. Lan, what do you think? The commander is not some kind of bandit lord. You've got more than brute force, you have legal power as well, so use it. Mendev has lots and lots of rich folk who've never donated a coin to our cause. Well, if they won't do it themselves, we'll just have to compel them. Use your authority to call for emergency tax collection. It's basically the same as robbery, but at least we'll be doing it by the book. You know, I've always wondered why some people, decent folks all in all, turn into the most cocky pricks imaginable the moment they get any kind of power. Thanks, Lan. Now I've seen how it happens with my own eyes. Lendwag, what do you think? It happened again. And now Wendwag isn't even here. Dorgalinda, what's your plan? The people of Mendev are used to paying for the crusade. They'll do it again. Some church will surely support us and let us act on their behalf if we give them a modest donation out of what we collect. This whole thing is a disgrace, of course. Common Mendevians have suffered more than anyone in this war. Taking from them what little they have left is unconscionable. I don't want to rob anyone. I don't want to become a fellow of the crusade. Nobody does, but there's nothing we can do at this point. If you don't want to give the order now, just sit with it for a while, gather your thoughts, summon your will. When you make up your mind, the order will be waiting on the table for you to sign. In truth, it doesn't make much of a difference whom we collect these donations from. We'll be known as muggers all the same. Either way, we'll get through this crisis. It won't be easy, I can promise you that. But when has it ever been easy for us? I'll report the results of the fundraising efforts in due time. Okay, what? Okay. Yeah, I don't really...
Beautiful.
I think I've had enough of trying to get that to work.
You're always harping on about how everything's terrible and the suffering's only just started and all that. So why are you always smiling? I don't want my suffering to start. I'd actually prefer it if I suffered as little as possible, thanks very much.
But what you want and how things are, they're two different things, right? Let's not wish for anything, and just enjoy what we have now.
Alright, let's go. Time to finally end this.
After breaking the blockade of the demon armies and defeating Discari, the Crusade forces close in on the Threshold Fortress. The place where 100 years ago, the first rift between the planes was opened. The place where this story will end.
Wait, who all's here? Hell Knights. Ulrun. Wasn't there another guy? Where'd he go? Oh, the Paralictor.
I got this.
Oh good, he's still alive.
Cover me, all right?
This is a big map.
Prepare yourself!
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
The light! Take you!
Why does it always start us all the way back here? They're all immune to mind-affecting effects.
Damn you!
Guide my head.
Nice.
Let's see what we can do.
Nav orma.
Distract them from me.
Make your peace.
Gotcha. Now it's just clean up.
A dear guest on my doorstep. Please do come in. You have been long awaited.
I can feel the madness radiating from you, Arilu. What has changed since the last time we met?
Nothing at all.
Let's talk. We don't have to resolve everything with bloodshed.
We will talk. I promise. But not here. The path to your souls and the world womb's healing demands my death. The accursed threshold prison where everything began must be where everything comes to an end. So I invite you in once again. Cross this threshold. I'll be waiting for you in the heart of the fortress, in the place where the wound was opened.
I see. So we're gonna get one last chance to talk to everybody before we finally head in there. Maybe get the chance to rest too. Well, I suppose that's a good place to end it for now. So, thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you all again some other time.